Hello, good morning. Okay. Good morning, guys. Good morning. I was just waiting to see if everything is working good because technical problems always can happen. Good morning. I hope that you guys are good. Here who is talking is Neide Mota. I'm a volunteer for Spirit Society of Ireland, and today I'll be your host here from Dublin, Ireland. To wherever you are very welcome to be with me for a few minutes this morning. Uh, well, uh, I hope that you like my new background. I'm here on the space today. And let's do our initial prayer that we can start our talk. Let's, if you can, of course, close your eyes. If not, you can keep them open. Just raise our thoughts to the Master Jesus, to the good spirits. Let's ask them to be with us, to guide us today with these studies. Let's ask them to be all the time with us, to open our mind and our heart to receive this word and to comprehend us the best way that we can. So be it. Amen. So, all right. Now, I'm gonna introduce you the topic of today. Today, oh, yay, here we are. Today, I will continue to talk about the basic principle of the Spiritism doctrine. I gave the first part a few weeks ago. If you go back in our page, you can find the basic principle of the Spiritism doctrine, part one. And on the part one, we talk about God, how we Spiritists we believe in God, what is the how we see God, and so on. We talk about spirit, what is a spirit, and immortality, that we believe in the immortality because the spirit is eternal, and we continue through the evolution. And of course, evolution was the last one that we did. And today we continue through this journey of the basic principles. Talk about the few more uh, principles. Today we will start with reincarnation, because we said that the spirit is eternal. We are here to evolve. And now we're going to talk about reincarnation, because reincarnation is one very important, I don't say tool, but way, a very important way through what we can evolve ourselves, right? And the most of the information that I will give here today, guys, is from the Spirit's book, and and the Allan Kardec codification. So it's based on the 5 books of Allan Kardec, right? And I cannot read because there is I have to open in my, here, now I can. So reincarnation. Reincarnation is the return of the spirit to corporeal life, but in another new body created by it. It's a law of justice and love. The spirit goes through an unlimited number of corporeal existences. At each new existence, the spirit takes one step forward on the path of progress. The spirit progress depends exclusively on the will, the knowledge, and the action of the spirit. The spirits may reincarnate on Earth or in any other habitable world in the universe. This only depends on its evolutionary states. Many. So we reincarnate in a new body, right? Even I tried, I don't know if you guys can see this nice draw that I found, because he's the old man, and then he's die, and then he's born again and continue. It's like, and it's an infinite journey, you know. when we born and we're born, we born and we're born, but always in the new bodies with new experience. And here when they say that the new existence of the spirit take one step forward for the past. So this means is a way of us to progress. Every new incarnation that we have is a step forward in our progress, in our evolution. So this is, you can think more reincarnation I have, more evolved I am. Yes, in a certain way. But this is very peculiar because it depends on each individual. As they say here, it depends of the will, depend of the evolution. Just because one spirit is evolved with a certain number of reincarnation doesn't mean that I will be the same. And this now is like each case is one case, and each spirit evolve according with your development. You know, it's not a kind of how can I say, a rule that is for everyone the same. And then we have on the chapter 2 of the Spirit's book, the incarnation of spirits. We have here the purpose of incarnation. That starts on the question 132 and go further on the chapter, talk about the purpose of the incarnation, about the soul on the incarnate states, and materialism, and so on. This is a very small chapter on the book, to be true, but it's very important, and that brings us a lot of information and kind of explain, some questions. And it's very, very, very good. For the first question, when they talk about what is the purpose of the incarnation of the spirit. So it's the first question that Kardec did for this topic, and then the answer that the spirits gave is God imposes incarnation for the purpose of leading spirits to perfection. For some, it is an expiation, for others, a mission. However, in order to reach this perfection, they must undergo all the vicissitudes of corporeal existence. Therein lies the expiation. Incarnation has a further objective, which is to place spirits in situations where they can do their share in the work of creation. To this end, on each word they clothe themselves with an instrument that is in harmony with the essential matters of that word, so they so that they may use that instrument to carry out the orders of God. In this way, they contribute to the general work of progress in the same time. So that's a very nice explanation for the incarnation. What is in the for me answer that question? What's the purpose of life? You know, and the reincarnation explain exactly this. For what reason we are here? What are we are doing here? Why you have to go through this, and so on. So that's part of the Spirit's book, and this reincarnation explain this a lot, at least for me, and I hope for you as well, because explain exactly what is the purpose of life, what we are doing in this planet, why we are born in these bodies, and all this stuff. Another principle, mediumship. So the Spiritism, we believe in mediumship. We believe in the communication with the spiritual world, and to this happen is this mechanism they call mediumship. So I'm gonna open my slide bigger that I can read. Mediumship, the faculty possessed by people who are denominated mediums, the communication between the material plane and the spiritual plane occurs through this intermediary. Mediumship is only one and does not divide itself. It can, however, be classified in two functional aspects: intelligence effect and physical effect. We are all more or less mediums. There are, however, the medium whose mediumship finds itself well characterized, and those in whom the mediumistic faculty finds itself in its potentiality. The first are called dynamic mediums and the second are called static mediums. Mediumship development is cyclical and natural. It's beginning from the birth. No one can know ahead of time if a person is or not a medium. Only a serious and safe experimentation can reveal the indications. So, it's very interesting because they say that we all are medium, but in certain level, in certain ways. So we all can communicate with the spiritual world. We all can have this possess this mediumship, but the difference is how it manifests itself. For example, I have a very nice, a very not strong, but a kind of intuition. When say, oh, it's like I have this feeling, that I have to do something or I have to, for example, I'm going for a way and then I have this intuition. No, instead of go this way, I should go that way. So I always follow my intuition because I believe that my intuition is this communication with the spiritual world. So it's like it's my guard angel, say to me, don't do that or do that, and this is a way that we have to communicate as well. Some people they have the dreams, some people have differences for this mediumship that is very how they say active, that have the mediumship in a high development level. They can see the spirits, they can talk with the spirits. We can say here about Chico Xavier and Divaldo Franco. Is two incredible Brazilian mediums. They have a very high level of mediumship that they can, since from the birth, they are little, that they birth basically. They can see the spirits, they can talk with the spirits, and is a mission that these guys had in Earth, because it's a very strong mediumship, but have to be very, like say, responsible. And these guys has to pass through a lot to become what they become, the great mediums of all the times. That is Chico Xavier and Divaldo Franco. If you search for these names on the internet, you're gonna find amazing thing about these guys. So for me, they are the most high example of good mediums on earth, you know. But we don't have to have a very strong mediumship to communicate with the spirit, as they say, because we all have this since our birth. And one thing that they say here, because sometimes we are very curious, and then we want to communicate with the spirits because, or we are curious, or because we lost someone, and we start to look ways to communicate with them, and this can be very dangerous because, as they said here on the last part, it's a very serious thing, and to communicate with the spirits, we have to find the responsibles and the serious ways to do it, and not just because we are curious or because we are interested in communicate with someone on the other side. We start to do certain experiments by ourselves, and or with people that don't know they is not serious enough, that can put us in very in many troubles. Let's say, we can attract how can I say, no good things to us. We can open the door for things that we are not ready for. So we have to be very careful when we talk about mediumship, and when we search for some mediumship. If you have interest, like I recommend to do a very serious studies. And for this, we have a very Very good book from Allan Kardec. It was the second book that he wrote. You know, the mediumship. I'm gonna show you because my memory is start to fail me. Yes, it's the second one here, the Medium's book. I just want to confirm it was the second or third. It's the Medium's book, the second one that he wrote. Is a book that he dedicated especially for the mediums, to they understand the how serious was this and how important is this and how to deal with that. So it's a guide for the mediums. Is the spirit the mediums book is a kind of guide for you. And if you think that you have mediumship and you have interest to develop or have interest to understand what's going on with you, I highly recommend to read this book because it's very important and you will discover very important things as well. Okay, and the next topic will be very spirit. On the first one, we talk about the spirits, about how we are created, how the spirits are created, what is the come from, and so on. And here is the perispirit. I'm gonna open the bigger slide there I can read. How? Perispirits. The perispirit is the spiritual or fluidic body of the spirit. It has its origin on the universal cosmic fluid and it's formed by a process of condensation of this fluid. The perispirit serves as a unifying link among the spiritual and corporeal world. Without the perispirit, it would be impossible to link the spirits with the matter. The makeup of the perispirit always depends upon the level of moral progress of the spirits. The superior spirits possess more rarefied spiritual bodies. The inferior ones make use of a dense, heavy perispirit. The perispirits can expand or retract in accordance with the will of the spirits. Being a body with fluidical origin, it works as a channel that transmits sensations. The spirit, which is the intelligent and conscious being, registers these sensations. The perispirit does not think, does not reason, nor can it act by itself. It is also not where the spirit's memory is stored. So, basically, we are incarnate uh, in this body, and we have the perispirit and the spirit. So, they say that without the perispirit, the spirit cannot incarnate on the body because it's too fine, it's too rare. So they need kind of something to help to make this link between the spirit and the body. And this is the perispirit. And when we see that, I saw or I see spirits, it's not the spirits that we see the perispirit, because the spirit is something that we cannot see by the eyes that we have in this planet. But the perispirit is a way that the spirit uses to make itself seen by us. Is a kind of second body that they have that is more light, much more light than the matters that we have here. And they say that the perispirit can be very light and very soft and rare or heavy or dense according with the evolution of the spirits. For example, if it's a spirit that is already evolved, is already in high level, the perispirit will be more light and more rare. If it's some spirits that is not so evolved, this will be a little bit more heavy and stay more close, I think, to us here. This is remind me, for example, these people who can see they call aura, this light around our body, right? This light is made by the Spirit, for example, is according with Spirit. I believe that the color of the aura is the color of the Spirit, basically. Yeah. And for the Spirit, on the Spirit's book, we have here on the part 2, chapter 1, from the question 93, we have here this part dedicated to the Spirit, to make us understand what is the Spirit. And we have from 93 to 95 these 3 questions. That is really good. I'm not going to read here because you take a lot of time or more time. But I highly recommend, if you look to the Spirit's book, part 2, chapter 1, you find the Spirit. These 3 questions that explain this, the what's the Spirit, for where does the perisprit get this semi-material envelopment? Is the perisprit per se without a covering, as some insist it is surrounded by kind of substance? And does the spirit's semi-material envelope have a specific form? And can it be seen? So basically, all this resume here is on these three questions of the book. So, what is the perispirit, and so on. The next one, free will. This one is very interesting, because we think, some people think that we are here following some kind of plan that is already determined and cannot be changed. And some people think that we are don't have nothing linked, that we can do whatever we want. And in a certain way, both is right. I'm gonna read this first, and then we can. Okay, free will. The spirits possess the liberty to think and act in accordance with its will. This liberty to make decisions, or free will, is equally depends on its level of evolution. Whether incarnate or in the spiritual world, the spirits make use of its free will. Is the beginning of its evolutionary phase. Free will is very limited, almost none. As the spirit evolves, it amplifies its free will through the evolution of its conscience. So, basically, they say in the beginning, when we are not mature enough, we have a limited free will. We are guided by our mentors, our teachers on the other side, that help us to take decisions, and they kind of give us a way to go, let's say. But and they conform we're gonna evolve, they are giving us more and more free will. And for example, here on Earth, the spirits who live here on Earth, they are basically free to take their own actions. We are free to decide which way we want to go, which decisions we want to take, because the planet Earth is in not evolved world, but is in a kind of a free world, let's say. But here we can take the decisions according with our state. I think we are grown enough to have and to take our own decisions. But remember that with free will, you come consequences. Every action has a reaction. We're going to see this on next. But yes, we are the owners of our path. We are the owners of our future. Let's say, doesn't matter how bad or how difficult it is right now. It's up to us how we're going to deal with that, and how we're going to what we're going to make with that. We have always free will to get to decide what we're going to do and how we're going to do. So yes, we are free in a certain way. And here on the On the Spirit's book, part 3, chapter 5, the law of freedom. We have here free will. We have few questions on free will. Quite few. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 questions about free will. Because the Kardec asked then the humans act with free will. The people enjoy the free will from the moment of birth, and all these questions about free will that make us comprehend better if how much we have free will, and where we kind of don't have. That's make us understand a little bit better the free will in this planet and in the stage that we are now. So I highly recommend, if you look, Spirit's book, part 3, chapter 10, free will. Start with question 843. And then this is just a little resume of these questions. Oh, right. Next one, cause and effect. Because when we talk about free will, we have to talk about cause and effect. I'm going to open here bigger to me that I can read. Cause and effect. Life is in the universe is directed in accordance with the wise and just law of God. The Spirit also lives the accordance with this law. We saw previously that the spirits enjoy free will, the liberty to act. Every action produces a reaction. Action and reaction obey the law of cause and effect. The effects are the result of the causes, and they can be immediated or not. Since chastisement does not exist, or chastisement does not exist. Sorry if I pronounce this word well. Everything that the spirit goes through, it is physical or spiritual life in the result of its action. A thought is a mental action, and as a result, it results in an effect that the ones who emits it. Good thoughts produce good effects. The same happens with our practical, material action. The effects of an action may come during the same incarnation or in the future incarnations. This depends in various circumstances. Basically, it's exactly what they say here. The result for an action, or even for a thought, as they said, because as they say to us that the thought has power. When we think about something, we are generate this image, and this image has power. So even for the thoughts that we are having, will have some consequences, some effect, and of course for the actions is much bigger because the result will come much faster, as they say. For each action there is a reaction. So that's why we have to be responsible, and we will have to think before we act. Even like I say, think before you say, because once that you say, you have to deal with the consequence after. So basically, this we have free will. We are free to act, but we have to answer for this action and be responsible for that, because it's not like I can do whatever and there is no big consequences. No, it's very clear here. It's the law of God. And once that, if you will live according with the law of God, the cause and effect will be good. We have gonna collect, like we're gonna sow some good and we're gonna reap some good. But according with the law of God. But if we sow bad things, we're gonna reap bad things. Cause and effect, clearly, as they say. So that's why we have to think before we say, before we act. Let's know what we want to solve from that, what we want to reap from that. I separate things on the cause and effect, but I cannot find. No, this is for the next one. For this one, I don't have it. But basically, the whole book three, part three of the Spirit's book, part three, yeah, the whole part three, the moral laws, they are basically talk about all this, the law of God. Is everything explained here on the part three of the book, because we have the divine or natural law, we have the law of worship, the law of labor, the law of reproduction, preservation, destruction, society, law of progress, the law of equality, the law of freedom, the law of just love and charity, moral perfection. Is everything in the part three of the Spirit's book, and then we can see very much the cause and effect in these and these studies. So the next one is the plurality of habitable words. That's one that I like very much because we are not alone. The plurality of habitable words. There are other words that are inhabited much like our planet. For organized life is found across the entire universe. The form in which it is manifested are, are, what, are what varies, in accordance with the evolutionary state of each planet. According to the Spirit's teachings, the worlds find themselves in different levels of evolution from one another. Some are in the same point of ours, others are more primitive. There are also those that are more morally, intellectually, and physically advanced. In this, the art and science have already achieved the level of perfection that we cannot yet appreciate. The physical organization, while material, is not subjected to suffering, disease, and infirmities. Man lives in peace without seeking to gain from the loss of others. Finally, there are worlds where the corporeal envelope is almost entirely fluidic. So, basically, that is life in another world, in another planet. We are not the only planet in the whole universe to be habitated, and this is very nice because if you believe in ET, ET is just spirits in a different level of us. And yeah, it's very nice to know that because what they propose to create a whole universe, the infinite universe, is just one planet it will be habitated. Like, doesn't make sense. And the interesting is they say that some of these planets are in the same level of Earth. This means that the spirits who habitate this world, is the same level that we are here in the planet on the Earth. But some of the planets are more inferior, so this means that they're still evolving and they are behind us a little bit. And in some other worlds, in some other planets, their life is much higher, is much more evolved than we are. And the science and technology and in these planets, they say that we can even not comprehend because they are very evolved, you know. And in the some worlds, like I say, the spirits are so evolved that they even don't have a physical body; they are fluidical bodies. And when they cannot, they say here that's something that is really call my attention. This phrase when they say that the whatever, man lives in peace without seeking to gain from the loss of others. So I imagine the day that Earth will have the same level, that the humanity will be, in peace and don't try to invade the other countries, don't try to take the what the other person have, or to envy the other, or want to be better than the others, you know. Unfortunately, we still very behind this, but according with the law of evolution, one day the planet Earth will be evolved as this one, but will take some millennia. So yeah, sorry. The good news is yeah, you got there. The bad news is yes, it take a long way to go. Uh, the plurality of the words we have on part 1, chapter 3 of the Spirit's book, the plurality of the words. Are all the globes spinning through space inhabited? They ask. Is the physical composition of the all the different globes the same? And so on. And the questions continues. And then this is a very interesting because Kardec asks the spirits about, and they give us this explanation about how the physical, the material things is in these words, how the spirits are there, and so on. So it's great to know that we are not alone here. This planet we have more spiritual realms. Uh, Life in the spiritual plan. That's nice. Life in the spiritual plan. When the spirits do not find themselves incarnate in any world, they are in the spiritual world, in the erratic state, waiting for the moment when they will return to corporeal life. The erratic state is the same as uncertainty, something that changes place, intermittently, periodically. In the spiritual plane, the spirits act in accordance with the level of evolution. The ones that belong to the terrestrial family almost always find themselves in our surrounding, coexisting and connecting to us through thoughts. The thought is the force that attracts and unites the spirits, causing the formation of groups. It is called the law of vibrational affinity. The spirits may act upon the fluid, producing fluidic creations. Many think that they are still incarnate, and as such, live intimately connected to the people and things of the material world. So clearly, they say to us, once that go to the spiritual plane, the spiritual world, when we are not incarnate, we still ourselves. You know, we're not becoming angel, we're not becoming demons. We just continue exactly the way that we are. Just because we pass away or we die, we not change who we are or the way that we think. And we still living on the around the globe, let's say, or in a plan that is very close to the incarnate level, waiting for the moment to back. And as I say here, these spirits they attracted each others through the thoughts, through the way that they think, the vibration that they are, the level that they are. So they uh, attract each other and they live in the groups. Let's say it's a very interesting the movie from uh, from the book of Chico Xavier, Not Solar, Our City. There is a movie that you can have a little idea how is the life in the spiritual plan, you know, what's happened after we die, and so on. After we die, after we pass away to the spiritual world, because die is not more than this. We make a big deal about the word die or death, but it's just we put so many weight on this word, and this word doesn't mean that we stop to exist. We just pass to the other world, to the other plan, but we're still living. So I start to not be afraid to use this word because for me it's a normal word now. Death and dead is just another word that means that we are not here, but we are somewhere. And exactly as they say here, we will be in a place live in accord with our thought, with our belief, with the law of attraction, and waiting to reincarnate again. You know, so that's good. All right, and the last one: influence of the spirits in our life. That's very interesting. So, influence of spirits in our life. The spirits connect themselves to us through thoughts. Together with them and those that are incarnate, we create a true network. Residing among us, they actively participate in our life. They influence our thoughts and actions. More than this, they greatly interfere in everything we think or do. They are connected to the places where they have been and held to the people with whom they coexist. They can influence us towards the good or towards that which is bad. The influence of the spirits in our life is so strong that we can generally affirm that it's they who guide us. Through the intensity of this influence, many constantly change our thoughts, words, and attitudes. Most are oblivious to the fact that they are often driven to this by the spirits. So, uh, here they are saying to us that the spiritual world and the incarnate world, they are together. They live in, they coexist together. And the influence of this incarnate spirits in our life is bigger than we can imagine. But this can happen because we allow them to happen. We connected with the spirits, with the disincarnate ones, through our thoughts. And because of that, we allow them to interfere in our life, you know. And some people, they are so linked, they're so connected with them that they basically live through a kind of double life, let's say, because they attract the spirits and they can become like a they don't know is the point that they don't know if it's this the thought that they are having is from them or if it's from the spirits. It's kind of a really serious thing. But we can remember, we have to remember something very important. We allow this to happen, so we can change this. We can cut this influence of the spirits because we are the owners of our thoughts. Remember, we have free will, and nobody can take the free will from you, just if you allow this to happen. So we have to be aware and understand that, yes, there is this connection between the two words, and there is this interaction, and this happens through our thoughts, and because we kind of allow this to happen, you know. For example, when we pray, when we elevate ourselves, we connect with the good spirit, with the high spirit, with God, with our guardian angels that help us, that guide us, that help us to take decisions, and so on. But when we lower ourselves, when we lower our vibration, we are connected with the spirits that is lower. The joker ones, the ones who want to play with you or just want to manipulate you to do whatever they want. For example, if they like to smoke, if they like to drink, they will push you to do that, let's say, to influence you to do that. That's why we always have to try to have good vibration and good connection, and if of course it's impossible to be in high frequency all day because we are in this material world. But every time that we feel our vibration going low, the good thing to do is try to elevate ourselves, prayer, or good music or something that put you up to broke this connection, to connect yourself again with the good ones. That is a really good way. We find a way to keep ourselves elevating, or to how to higher to raise our vibration instead of lower them. back again here. Chapter 9 of the part 2. Part 2 of the book. Chapter 9, the intervention of the spirits in the corporeal world. We have a whole chapter about that on the Spiritist book. When you have the reading of our thoughts by the spirits, we have all the influences of the spirits in our life, like even possessions and and so on. Like how the spirits affect us, and all this resume here. You can find it more detailed and more explained on the book. You know, and it's like I said, never forget this influence is happening because we allowed them to happen. So we have to learn how to be connected with the good ones and not with the bad ones. It's hard, it's difficult, it's not easy. But we have to try. Always. Yeah? So guys, I think this is what I have for you today. I hope that I could pass to you some brief about this basic principle of the Spiritist Doctrine. And if you're interested to study, I highly recommend the Kardec's book the Spirit's book to start because it's great. You'll find answer for many questions of the humanity. That's very interesting. So here is our activities on Sunday. Special talk at special talks. No, it's normal talks at 11:15 every 2 weeks because 1 week is online, 1 week is presential. For example, next Sunday we're gonna have our presential talk in person, and the address is in our page and Facebook page. It's in W2, very easy to find. So I hope to see you there next Sunday at 11:15. On Tuesday and Thursday, we have the live talk with Stephen. It's 7 p.m. every Tuesday and Thursdays. And on Thursdays is Gospel According to Spiritist, and on Tuesdays is Spirit's book, and it's very nice. On Tuesday as well, we have our healing sections on 8:30 on the YouTube. If you want to receive a healing, to kind of have a moment, is very short. It's not some is not take much time of your day. Just 15 minutes, maximum 20 minutes. Start 8:30 sharp. So if you want to receive and to have this healing, this pass in Portuguese, so just turn in our YouTube channel 8:30 Tuesdays, every Tuesday. And on Wednesday, we have our studies group. We study the Spirit's book at 8 p.m. And to have access to this group, is a closed group, you have to send us an email. I'm going to put here the email, the address email. Sorry. Just a second. Here. Send the email to spiritismireland@gmail.com, and I will send you the link for the Zoom page when you have our studies every Wednesday, 8 p.m. At the moment, we are studying Spirit's book. We are basically finished, but we're going to start again. So don't worry, everyone is welcome. Don't need to have background, just want to have an open heart, open mind, and want to learn. We learn it together. Okay. So I think this is all, guys. Thank you very much. Let's do our final prayer before we go. So let's just raise our thought to the Master Jesus again, to the High Spirits, and say to them, thank you very much for this Sunday, for this moment of learning together. Thanks, God, for our life, to be here. And I hope that we all have a great week, full of peace, joy, and love. God be with us. So be it. So, guys, that's it. Thank you very much. Have a great week. Enjoy your Sunday and see you again soon. Bye bye.